gonna really kind of frame this a little bit for anybody new. I'm gonna have to give like half a rules seminar of the rules of jiu-jitsu for this, because we're doing a basic footlock, but there's only one legal footlock allowed when you're white belt and actually blue belt. Oh, actually purple belt, now that I think of it. And so I'm going to show this really simple, really basic one. Yes, I know. So how does this disappoint you? You're always cheating all the time. That's all you do is break the rules. But I'm going to show you two things, right? So I'm going to show a simple entry to it from a guard pass. So the thing that I want you to try to do here is remember that I don't really like to see this too much in training, where you're sitting back on footlocks instead of trying to pass the guy's guard. But this is the best way to show, because it's a really simple entry for people. It's really important, guys, to know, even if you don't ever plan on doing a footlock, or if you're not 100% sure, it's important to be able to identify what a footlock is and know when to tap. Because sometimes they feel okay right up until the point that they're not. And you can even see Graham kind of warming his foot up here as we go as well. So I'm going to start with Graham sitting a bit close. I have to come a little bit closer. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to aim for this foot. But if I just reach down and like try and grab this foot, like it's going to be easy to pull it away. So I need to set this up quite cleverly, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to enter by stepping behind my opponent's knee here. Like this. So like really trying to push his knee back towards his chest, which forces him to rock up. And then I'm going to step inside his calf here. Okay? And what I'm going to do is keep my hand here, like almost just on his knee, but not quite like grabbing or making a connection yet. Because what I want him to do is try and like bring his foot up to my hip here to recover. And at that point, that's when I'm going to catch it. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to try and like hold it. I'm not going to try and like squeeze it or do anything to it here now. I'm just going to try and hold it. And what you want to think about doing is like holding a rugby ball under your arm or football under your arm. Don't try and like grip and start to choke his foot or whatever already, because the guy's going to get wise before you even like get to the footlock at all. He's going to be able to pull his foot out. So when I go to try and put him on his back, the key thing here is not to step in here. It's not going to move him. I'm going to try and think about putting my foot behind Graham's shoulder. From here, I roll him back. Immediately step, so that this foot is on the outside. I can block this here a little bit to like bait him in. So when he's trying to bring him in really hard, I'm just going to hold it here like this. And see, I can like just like put my finger on the calf. Let's identify like a problem initially, which is you guys going to grip it like this with your hand always across here. I'm not doing that. My thumb is like sounding like I'm holding a football. Once I get here, I'm going to stay on that squat. The next thing I'm going to do is sit into this position. I'm going to take my outside foot, stamp it on his hip, and sit back. Okay, pinch my knees together, my foot stays in the middle. This is as far as we're going to go. Okay, just to our entry. Alright? It's very important that you stand on their hip. In fact, I think about standing a little higher than their hip. I think about standing on their belly, near enough to their floating ribs as I sit back. Because what I don't want is that when I sit back, is that he comes up. So from here, that as I sit too shallow, he's able to come up. So I need to kind of go here, kind of close to the floating rib, and that's going to solve. So here's our entry. He's going to start seated, come in, step beyond him. We're going to step to here. Okay? Just holding this like a rugby ball, foot going here now, and I sit to my hip. Stay up on your elbow for now, like this. Okay? One final thing, release the collar, pinch your knees. Just keep your hands back here for now. We're not going to do any more. That's all I want to see. All good? Let's go. 3, 2, 1. So a couple of people like falling to their back. So when you go here, even when I get here, people are going like, even when they're stepping, if you fall back to your back, that's you pulling him up like this, okay? So you're like a rocking horse, right? So from here, when I go back like this, even if I let go of the collar, when I go back, the momentum brings him. So I'm not going back, I'm jumping on his leg, which is over here. So as I go over, I'm going to come in here. When I catch now, you can see that it's onto my side. That should be fairly clear to everybody, is it? Okay. You all happy? Okay. I have to do my least favourite part about teaching footlocks now, and it's how to not be illegal. Rules of the IBJJF, right? Brazilian Jiu Jitsu rules, okay? 95% of all tournaments you're going to enter are going to be IBJJF rules, okay? And this is the rule, right? So it's not controversial, it's pretty simple, but it causes like, it's probably the most problematic rule out there, right? Because give my foot past like this side, did I do it on purpose, blah, 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 blah. As soon as I'm controlling this leg on this side, his center line here like this foot can't pass it. So my foot can't do this. Okay, not even slightly. And not even by accident, I can slip across. As long as I'm controlling this foot there, that's illegal. Okay? Everybody always asks why. It's very, very simple. When I drive across here like this, I create this inward twisting pressure on his knee. If I create pressure this way, Graham's hip can compensate and roll with it. So he's got a bit of give, okay? And it's very hard for me to injure the knee if I twist it this way. But when it goes inside here like this, you can see where the pressure is. Your knee don't bend that way and your hip can't compensate. As a result, it's potentially like serious knee injury. So in the absence of you being able to look after yourself, the rules look after you, okay, and look after your opponent as well. And that means that you can't get that shearing force across your knee, okay? Happy days? So what happens? I put my foot here, I get DQ'd straight away. What happens? You're in the middle of a roll, you find your foot over here, the two of you go. Okay, and restarts, no problem. Okay? What you don't want to be is like an amateur ref and go like, hey, stop reaping my knee, man. Okay, shouting like that, just say, hey, you're reaping. And just, oh, okay. Put my foot back and we can start the roll again. Okay, make sense? Okay, easy. In competition, if I do it accidentally and I'm not going for the footlock, the referee might reset me depending on the position. Put my foot back and say go again. If I do it in the middle of the footlock, I'm done. DQ straight away. Okay, it's happened to me before. All right. The referee wasn't corrected. That's not going to argue that one again. But if he pushes my leg in the rules, if he pushes my foot across like intentionally this way, no, it doesn't matter. It's he did it. Okay, and he could be disqualified. This is intentionally trying to make me foul. Does that make sense? It's like simulation in football. Okay. So we're going to focus just on going here. What I'd like to do, I typically do, is not like put your foot like this. Put your heel on, so your toes are facing downwards and you're pinching here together nicely like that, and that decreases your chance of an accidental reap. Okay, so I turn my foot out like this, and my foot is always facing this way. Once my foot is facing that way, you can see my knee turns up. It's 10 times more likely to go back that way. So pretty easy, yeah? Okay. All right. I'm sorry to have to do that, but it's, you know, seems like it's a waste of time in class, but it's very important. Okay. Okay. Once we clamped here, we fall into our side and we stayed in our elbow. Why I stay in my elbow and not go to my shoulder immediately? It's because I need a little room to get my arm underneath. Because if you remember, I said we would just like hold the foot here like this. Okay? So what I'm going to aim for is the base of Graham's ankle with this part of my thumb. Okay? Here. So I'm not going to use my forearm. That's not your job. Your job is not to like choke his foot. Okay? He might tap to that bit through pain, but you don't want to like rely on pain. You want to rely on the potential of a break, which is this. Okay? Crushing the foot and twisting it. So that's what we're looking to do. Crush his toes and twist. So don't think about like stretching his foot or like trying to like power through like a guillotine choke or something like that, like a bad guillotine. Instead, what we're going to do is catch his foot and twist. Okay? So I catch here. I'm just going to put my kimono up so that you can just see my thumb here. All right? And what I'm going to do, I'm going to pass my lapel, my top lapel, my bottom lapel here, so that I can catch it here like this. Have you seen? What I do with this hand is not like immaterial, but this is the main part of the choke, or the footlock. We can also hold our hand here, but for today we're just holding the lapel. Again, not too high, just about here. All right? I'm going to bring my hand to the mat. I'm going to put myself to my shoulder, and I'm going to move my elbow back. Okay. Our goal here is going to be to use our lat, okay, the base part of your shoulder blade, to squeeze his foot, okay? And then we're going to arch ever so slightly backwards. Once you've done this and you have this position, you never look at your opponent again. Instead, you do this. Here's the position. Crush and twist. Crush and twist. Okay? So his foot is bending behind my back. All right? We'll have a go at this and we'll come back for detail. Don't worry. So once you've run him back here, we're going to catch underneath. Hold his foot like a football. Sometimes I'll have my thumb inside. Sometimes I'll just be here securing it, like here. Stamp. Go to your side and to your elbow. Now, release. Use this old free hand here to pass beneath his foot. And you should now think, I want to be as far down on his foot as possible, meaning that little part of my thumb, base of my thumb, is right down at the base of his Achilles. Okay? Hand to the mat, hide your elbow underneath you, go to your shoulder. Okay. Now if you're new to Footlocks, the best way thing I can do is actually come around to you and like let you feel it. So I'm going to come around like Footlock everybody. Alright. Don't laugh, it's true, I am going to do it. Are we all good? Yeah? Just making sure again, just the key points there, fall to your side in the entry and making sure that you go as shallow as possible on the foot, right? Let's go, 3, 2, 1. We'll do the same side. Okay, so everybody got it, yeah? Okay, I'll do a couple of quick adjustments and I'm going to show you what we're going to do when it doesn't work. Okay, after we sat back in. I just want to say one thing, by the way. The footlock in this position, this sit back footlock, can become like a shortcut or like a lazy man's guard pass. We don't want it to become that. So I'm trying to show it to you, like I said, to identify the footlock and so on. But a lot of times people just get tired of trying to pass somebody's guard when it's good and just say, well, screw it, I'll just sit back in the footlock and hope for the best. That's not what we're doing, right? So in other words, I get here like, and I'm like, man, I can't do nothing. Got to keep passing as well. So okay, I'll have a go with this. Sit back here. Well, at least I'm doing something. Guard passing is really, really important. More important than, well, that's debatable, more important than a footlock. But like, this is a single footlock, sit back footlock. There's lots of other footlock entries from standing, whereas you've probably got like 60 guard passes you could learn versus one footlock. You know what I'm saying? And like around, like potentially you could become very, very good at guard passing, or you can sit back on the guy's leg all the time and hope for the best. But in this situation now, we're gonna pass the guard when it doesn't work, okay? So we're keeping our foot here and we're pinching. But from here, maybe I just can't get a grip of the foot. He's good at hiding it. I can't get like my position, okay? So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna keep my knees together for the moment, and I'm gonna take my top hand this time and grab his pants, make a pocket grip, okay? My other hand comes underneath and just takes like a good meaty grip underneath his calf, okay? From here, what I need to do is I need to sit to my back, cross it over, and go to the other side. Now there is a footlock here, but we're not going to do it tonight. But I'm going to keep this grip on here now. Okay? Up, change my grip to the knee, here, like this. Okay, so it's hooked over my other leg. Now I take my foot off the hip, technical stand up, and I travel to the guard pass, okay? To the folding pass. Let's have a look at that on the other side. So I have the footlock, I've sat back. And now for whatever reason I can't get it. Top grip to his pants. Fall back, meaty grip on the other one. Lift, tuck it under your arm. Catch the knee, pull it into you, sit up. So it's resting over the top of my leg. Technical stand up, like this. And then over to the folding pass, to the leg drag pass. You all good? Everybody happy to give it a shot? Okay, let's go. 3, 2, 1. Any questions what we did? Okay, because I have to do my least favourite part again now, right? So just go forward a bit there, Grant. I have to show again like the rules elements, okay? So even if Graham stands up on this footlock and comes up here, come on, way up there. Now, right now, what can I not do? Cross this foot over at all. Now, when I say center line, that means even if the foot is down low here, that's not near his belly, it's still the center line of the hips. Is that understood? Yeah, I'm still going to be illegal. Okay, and probably that's more common. It's more common now, the disqualification, when he's standing than it is on the ground. Okay? Secondly, so if you sit back down there again, I won't sweep you on your dodgy knee. So from here, secondly, if Graham begins to roll this way and I have the footlock, all still good, no problem, okay? I can stay with it and go with it. If I start to roll him that way, it's illegal. Once again, watch Graham's knee, twisting this way, and that's it. Okay, so if he rolls, I roll with him, it's his fault. If I begin to turn his knee on top, it's my fault. Likewise, if I start the footlock and I put the knee on the top side, so if I go here, it's also illegal. Okay? For the same reason, the inward twisting pressure on the knee. Alright? we live in the age of YouTube and John Danaher releasing 17 videos a week and all that stuff on inside Ashley, outside Ashley, all that kind of stuff. So everybody's seen those footlocks in no-gi competition now at white belt, when you wouldn't have seen them before probably for a long time. Like 80 to 90% of those are illegal in IBJJF rules. So you need to just be careful about how you apply them, and especially if you're studying at home and then you're coming up to do like a legal and illegal class or whatever, you know, where the rules are applied, you're probably doing some stuff that's that you're not going to be able to do in competition for quite a while. Does that make them bad? No, it's just the nature of things, right? It's the nature of the rules. Yeah? Makes sense to everybody? Very cool. Any questions? All right. Part B of rules seminar. Oh, see, really sorry that this literally is. So, knee bars, illegal until brown belt. Okay? Any toe holds, illegal until brown belt. The heel hook, coming under here, just illegal. Okay, in the gi. In no gi here, we train it like in the advanced no gi guys. They train heel hooks all the time. But for like 95% of the members here, no. Okay? It takes a bit of training and a bit of understanding of the defense before you can begin to start training with that with the attack. Okay? In general, guys, so if you are a beginner, in general, if someone is doing something to your leg that you feel is twisting it the wrong way, and you don't need to be like an experienced grappler to know that. You feel your leg twisting, you go, okay, I need to tap. Just tap and release. You go. It's the best defense you can possibly have in training to avoid like injury. If you do it this way, the way we showed tonight, you're almost never going to feel it on your knee. Okay, almost never. Sometimes by accident, sometimes by like a little twist, but you feel it on your knee. Like the reason your knee is like important. Well, I'm not going to go into the biological reason your knee is important. But the reason we protect the knee, say for example, more than like the elbow, you've got a lot of time when there's an armbar going on and you tap and the next day you go, ooh, ow. Okay? And you put a little ice pack on it and it might be sore for a week or two. Yeah, sorry, I might keep you out of the footlock now. But when you twist your knee, like, it can be like 4 or 6 weeks, sometimes surgery, and it's that very quickly. Unfortunately, right? So that's why we look after our knees a little bit more than we would like a lot of other submissions. Does that make sense to you? Yeah. So like a bad knee injury can like, finish it. You know, I've never heard, very rarely hear someone saying like, you know, gee, that thing from my wrist lock and suddenly my jiu-jitsu career was over. You know, so just make sure you look after each other, and it's about safety. It's common sense in training anyway, which you'll get kind of in the atmosphere here anyway. Like, there's no arseholes, you know, trying to pull your foot off or pull your knee off. But just don't look around the room like that, Sean, you know, it's nobody. Just looking at me, will you? But, you're getting the blame for everything, like. But generally speaking, guys, it's just common sense, you know. So don't. The reason again that I teach footlock very early for white belts is you need not necessarily to be going for it all the time, but you need to identify it when you see it. It's easy to identify any sort of arm locks, and you've usually got plenty of time. Perhaps sometimes with the foot, it's a bit more dangerous. It's also a bit more dangerous to defend badly, but we'll work on that another day, yeah? Everybody happy enough? All right, let's get some training done. So plenty of mixing tonight. Good job, guys.